For all the best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
This bout is for the WBC Youth Title Super Middleweight Interim Championship. Our judges overseeing this title bout, Bob Gilson, Steve Epstein, and Louis Rivera. And our referee for this title matchup will be Mr. Randy Newman. Introducing first in the blue corner, he comes to us tonight from Asheboro, North Carolina, via Puerto Cabello, Venezuela. He weighed in at 164.5 pounds. He wears white trunks with black trim. Professional record, 19 victories, 15 defeats, and 2 draws. Please welcome MARCOS Primera. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he comes to us tonight from Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at a fit and ready 164.5 pounds. He wears turquoise trunks, silver trim, sports a perfect professional record, 13 victories, no defeats, 11 knockouts. Please welcome Curtis Showtime Stevens.
Okay, gentlemen, you're both familiar with the rules of the states. Pay attention. 2 things. Obey my commands, and most important, defend yourselves at all times. Now shake hands and come out of the bell.
Curtis Stevens.
8 rounds, super middleweights.
And Marcos Primera. Primera has been in against the likes of Luis Collazo, Dante Craig, Jermaine Taylor, Kofi John Tua, Robert Frazier. Losses in all those step-up bouts, and he has lost his last 5.
And he's a welterweight. Taking this fight with Curtis Stevens at middleweight. And he told me and Steve that he's not looking to go to the scorecards. He's looking to knock Curtis out early.
For Primera, this is the heaviest he's been in his career. The next closest was back in 2002. He weighed in at 163 pounds against Benji Singleton.
And I have to make mention before Curtis, before this fight, in a little early, if it does. Last performance here in Broadway boxing, there's some flaws. Curtis was late to the weigh-in, which I found out later that he's having car trouble. Then he showed up late to the fight. And he took offense to the comments that the 3 of us made in regards to him being late. He thought we were implying that he was afraid of Mr. Carl Daniels, because Carl Daniels is a veteran. That wasn't a thing one bit. We would never say Curtis Stevens is afraid of anyone. But with that being said, it's nice to see, it's good to see that these guys pay attention to what's said about them. And if they can use that to better themselves, then I'll be critical all day.
Well, the question was, too, with Daniels. I mean, Daniels passed his prime, but it was the best boxer to date that Stevens had been in against. And he won an 8-round decision.
Put him in the back.
Right, I mean, he dropped Carl Daniels early, as we seen on the pack earlier. But he went and showed that experience that he had from the amateur background. He won the decision.
2 quick observations about Stevens so far. He's been working with Ike Forte, and his jab is really sharp, even though he doesn't really need it. Primera's letting him walk through him. The other thing, watch for those short power shots. He's a short guy, but he doesn't throw looping long shots. He throws short, beautiful, technical shots.
I see blood. Someone's bleeding. Doesn't look like Curtis.
I'm going to say it's Primera. Primera has been stopped 4 times in his career.
And talking to Primera yesterday, Steve, which the both of us laughed at when he walked away, he said he'd never seen Curtis, but Curtis is short, so he's expecting Curtis to throw all overhand punches.
Right, we didn't tell him otherwise either.
No.
We weren't giving Curtis the secrets away.
Curtis never throw overhand shots. All his shots are short and compact.
Good stiff jab there from Stevens.
He actually had that Ike Cortez defense as he stalked Primera here. But he was working the jab, being patient.
End of round one. Round number 2 underway. Primera cut under the left eye in the first. As Steven told you, he was coming here to get a knockout win.
And he was honest why. He said, because I'm not in great shape. You know, he hadn't sparred for this fight. But the way Primera fought in the first round, Bob, it was more like he anticipated a long, grueling fight, you know, covering up along the ropes, letting Stevens work. I'd like to see Primera at least throw some big right hands. He can punch.
And Primera told us that he normally does better against bigger opponents.
Step back.
Curtis doing some nice work in here.
Look at Primera's face, around his eyes. It looks like it's round 14.
All right, get out of there. Step back. Get off. Get off.
Cut under the left eye in round number 1.
Beautiful
Good
jab. And Primera, I mean, he's a veteran, so you would assume he knows, he understands what's going on in there. He's keeping his left hand a little too low, though. I mean, Curtis has nailed him with some jabs. And normally, behind the jab, always come a quick right hand. So as a veteran, especially early, you want to keep your hands up.
Right, don't punch.
Even if you don't respect the punching power of your opponent. And he's in close trying to walk Curtis backwards, but he's not going anything.
What I want to see from Curtis Stevens in a fight like this is focus and consistency of effort. It's very easy to get sloppy and fall asleep against a fighter who's not giving you much to work with.
He looks pretty sharp. He always looks comfortable in there. Always looks comfortable. He looks pretty sharp, though.
Corner of Stevens says, don't be lazy. He immediately throws out a jab.
See, normally in the past, we've seen Curtis block and counter right off of that. You can tell he's being a little bit more patient tonight.
Don't punch, get up. Get up.
Look at that eye. Get the eye.
Primera out jabbing Stevens.
Don't punch, get up.
There was an opportunity a second ago that Primera missed.
End of the second. Can they keep the swelling down as we begin the third?
Primera did a smart thing. Came out jabbing. But he wanted to be careful trying to exchange punches and jabs on the inside with Curtis Stevens. Because when Primera jabs, he drops his right hand. And Curtis is beautiful with short left hooks. Look at his right hand as he jabs.
Down there. And most of the knockouts we've seen Stevens score on Broadway boxing have been the result of counters.
Counter left hooks.
Primera getting a little braver here in rounds 2 and now 3.
This is the way he should be fighting.
Just to note, we mentioned that the cut in round 1 was caused from a punch. That's important because if the fight is stopped because that cut worsens, Stevens wins. If it was from an accidental clash of heads or an accidental foul, they would go to the scorecard.
I mean, it's a catch-22 for Primera, or for all of Curtis Stevens' opponents. When you don't follow the guy's career and have no idea what he's capable of doing, you don't have the opportunity to be afraid of his punching power. But on the flip side, it's dangerous. You can get caught not realizing what you have in front of you.
And when Primera sticks that left hand out the way he's doing it, Stevens doing a nice job of sliding side to side. What he's not doing is stepping forward as he slides side to side and getting into punching range.
Combination to the body from Stevens.
That's why I said last round he's being a little bit more patient than we've seen him in the past.
Counter shot from Primera.
Primera's fighting. He told us he's going to do this, Steve.
Well, a long fight is not to his benefit, that's for sure.
Stop punching, get out of there.
He might as well take his shot, even if it means leaving himself open to get knocked out.
Good right hand to the body from Stevens.
Don't punch, get out of there.
But you know what? Primera is a seasoned vet. So going 8 rounds shouldn't be hard for him to do.
Get the sense that the veteran Primera has found a couple of things that he thinks can create some opportunities, some options for him. It's not a lot, but where he can exploit some holes in Stevens' defense.
It's obvious. You can tell by the way he's fighting this round that he's seen some flaws. But on the flip side of it, you can't make mistakes against a puncher like Curtis Stevens.
End of the third. You're watching Broadway Boxing. We'll be back in just a moment. There's that cut, which was sustained in round 1 under the left eye of Primera. Round number 4 underway, scheduled for 8. Curtis Stevens and Marco Primera. No knockdowns to this point.
Key words to this point.
See, the interesting thing, and Brian, the interesting thing is that Primera said he was fishing for an early knockout, but he didn't do that in round 1. He's actually, as each round has progressed, he's opened it up a little bit more.
And something to be said for Primera. You know, there's something about being a professional. This guy is fighting under conditions that are hardly optimal. He's not in shape. He's fighting a bigger guy who can really punch, and he's in there trying and surviving. And that's why Marcos Primera gets a lot of work. He will give you a show, even though he's coming off 5 losses, all on points. He's a tough guy, and he's in there trying to win.
When you mentioned the word professionalism, he's very professional and honest at the weigh-in. He said he's doing this. He has 4 kids. He needs the money, and he's doing this for the money. That is actually illegal what he just did. He's getting a warning.
Let's go.
You know why Randy Newman knows all the tricks, all the dirty tricks? He fought Chuck Wepner 3 times. I always kid Randy. I said somebody has to come in with a shotgun into the ring for you to call a foul on a guy. Because you fought Wepner so many times.
But the patience, I do like that Curtis is displaying. You can tell he's been in the ring sparring the past 4 or 5 weeks with Ike Cortez. Very patient. Ike is very patient. As you can see, the average round is 2.5 rounds. So normally, he would be in a dresser. Actually, he'd be sitting ringside watching the main event by now.
I don't think it's a good idea for Primera to drop his gloves like he did a few seconds ago. That's tempting fate a little bit too much against Curtis Stevens. See, again, when Primera sticks that left hand out there, Curtis slides side to side but doesn't come forward with any steps to cut the distance.
Just look at the right hand each time Primera jabs. Not once in a while, it's each time he jabs. There are opportunities there that Curtis normally take advantage of.
Is he giving Primera too much respect?
I'm here.
I wouldn't say he's giving him too much respect. I would say he's working on what he's been working on the past 5 weeks. Patience.
Come to the close of the round. Broadway Boxing presented by StubHub as we come to the end of the 4th. Round number 5, scheduled for 8. Curtis Stevens and Marcos Primera.
if we have mentioned several times tonight how Primera is fighting out of his weight class. But he's able to take these shots, and let me explain to the viewers. Sometimes guys starve themselves, kill themselves to fight lower weights. Now he's fighting at a natural weight. He can absorb punches much better because physically he's at his natural weight.
I'm still surprised he's still here, Brian. I understand what you're saying. I agree with it, but this is a guy that sparred 0 rounds for this fight.
No, I agree. I mean, Curtis have let his hands go like he's doing now, working the body. He worked the jab beautiful first couple of rounds. He landed some shots that normally guys would want to sleep on.
Well, we have Ike Corte right next to us.
Throwing punches.
And he's signaling to Curtis about the body. Look, he's pointing right next to us, pointing to the body. Curtis has a good view. He's got Primera right where he wants him, against the ropes in our corner.
That's a counter shot, but Primera stood up to it.
Get out.
Right there, Curtis just step around. Do like I say, step around and work the body. Stay low, just like that, and work the body. And Primera have to try to spin Curtis out of there. He's been close the past couple of rounds, but he want to keep Curtis at a distance.
At this point, I think Primera is very happy to take a little rest there and walk Curtis around a little bit.
I think it's a matter of time before them body shots land perfect and put Primera down.
They've got to be taking a toll on a guy that didn't spar.
Yeah, he told me and Steve, I haven't sparred. He said, I visit the gym, not necessarily train. He said, I visit the gym.
Yeah, he went for lunch.
And I asked him, I said, you haven't sparred, really haven't trained? How confident are you? I said, I'm very confident. He said, I'm going to knock the guy out.
It's not like he's coming off a long layoff, though. He was in the ring back on June the 3rd.
But these are one of those fights, as it appears currently, that you can't knock everyone out. Put your work in, do what you have to do, and win.
Don't punch. Step back.
Because I think in another round or two, Primera may go in survival mode.
End of the 5th. Left hand eaten by Primera. Welcome back to Broadway Boxing, presented by the Connecticut Defenders. Round number 6 underway for Curtis Stevens out of Brooklyn, New York. 13-0, 11 knockouts. Marcos Primera, 19-15-2 with 12 knockouts. No knockdowns in this bout to this point. Primera was cut under the left eye in round 1. It has not been a factor.
And as I alluded to last round, said it's one of those nights where you can't knock everyone out. Curtis Stevens' uncle, Andre Rozier, told him in the corner he's a durable guy, so they understand they don't have to put in rounds tonight.
All right, work, tight, step back, step back.
Again, Stevens had Primera placed right over us on the ropes. Getting some instruction from Ike Corte.
Get out. Let his arm go.
Former welterweight champ.
All right, hey, enough of that. No hitting in the back, hitting the front.
And Curtis told me he spent 5 weeks training with Ike. He said Ike Corte has the best jab he has ever seen.
Stop punching.
He said he tried muscling Ike Corte around in the gym. It didn't work.
That doesn't bode well for Vernon Forrest, huh?
Let him out.
Not at all.
It's interesting watching Stevens go rounds because his first 11 fights, he went past the second round 1 time. And now if he goes the distance tonight, in his last 3 fights, he will have gone 8, 6, and 8 rounds. Probably what he needs. But I think you sell this guy as a big knockout puncher, and that's what people expect from him because of what he's done coming up.
But every now and then, you want Curtis Stevens, you want your prospect to have a fight like this. because it shows people, listen, he can bring more to the table than just the left hook.
In the perfect world, now we're in 6. If he gets him out of there and either in this round or round 7, then it's the perfect night, right?
Exactly. He put work in, and he gave the fans exactly what he's known for. I like his boxing, though. Nice jab. But he just got caught with a couple of shots.
Stevens blocking most of this from Primera, some getting in.
But one thing Primera just did, he's leaning on Curtis while he's punching. He's not allowing Curtis to throw those short, powerful counter punches.
Oh, low blow. Oh, boy. That's about as low as you're going to get. I don't think that was by accident.
Yeah, Primera was holding Curtis' head down. And Curtis threw a short uppercut. I mean, listen, I've been in the ring before. I've been hit low before. Doesn't feel like that. He's giving the impression that he got hit, I mean, to the solar plex where he can't breathe. It doesn't hurt that bad.
No, he's got 5 minutes to take as much time, and when you haven't been in a gym and you have not sparred or trained a single minute for a fight, you're going to take the 5 minutes. You're going to take the time.
He should take the 5 minutes.
Take the 5 and then take the minute rest.
And what you have to remember is the fighter who gets hit low cannot win the fight unless the referee disqualifies Curtis Stevens.
You see, Commissioner Ron Scott Stevens gave instructions to Randy Newman. Ron is always on top of things. Former promoter himself.
Take a look at it again.
Well, Bob, you said this was very, very low, and I think the replay is going to bear you out on that.
Well, this was intentional because he didn't like the flurry, and then Primera held him down, and boom. There was no joking around about that. He knew exactly where that was going.
But he has dug some body shots, nice body shots to Primera. I mean, listen, be professional on both parts. Primera doing a little dance, holding his head down by his crotch area. That's real disrespectful.
1 point.
But on the flip side, I mean, Curtis shouldn't have hit him low. You know, let the referee take control. But in the heat of the moment, I can pretty much understand.
It would have been worse had Stevens not been being held down by Primera.
Right, that's what I mean. I can understand.
And he was upset because he was just having the better of him.
No. Count the time.
Randy Newman now explaining to the timekeeper.
How much was about 20 seconds?
They're saying he get the 5 minutes after the minute rest.
Okay. And he's got 5 minutes.
So now they're just trying to figure out some timekeeping.
I have to find out if they actually took points against Curtis Stevens, because I think Ron Stevens is holding his finger up to take points off, so I have to find out.
Or either that or it was a first warning.
Okay.
Well, they're discussing it now, Bob, but an intentional foul, should they agree with you that it was intentional, is 2 points.
I sit down for 60 seconds.
Ron Scott Stevens,
Was on the
the New York State Athletic Commission.
No, the round was on.
Randy Newman saying the round was still on.
Well, the clock should stop, right, Bob? I mean, the clock should stop when the low blow lands.
And she's the doctor.
So now they're going to send Stevens back to his corner.
1 minute.
So now they put 1 minute on the clock,
Give him 1 minute now.
starting now.
No, I mean, he's probably, I mean, he could have a contusion.
Now I think Primera is milking this a little bit. Nice motioning to Stevens, let's fight some more.
So that is the official end of round 6, I take it?
Yeah.
I just spoke to Ron Scott Stevens, the commissioner. He said it was at the end of the round, so they're going to give him the minute rest, which is allowed, and then they're going to give him 5 minutes. They took 1 point off of Curtis Stevens for the foul.
So they're giving him 5 minutes after the minute rest? But what about all the time that was given to him before the minute rest? I mean, he was resting for a good 2 minutes. 3 minutes, right?
Ron was adamant. He said we're taking 1 point off, not 2.
It's not worth any more than 1. I mean, it was 1 point.
He want to keep on.
Want to go?
Primera said I'm ready to go.
Okay, so Stevens loses a point Now, you can make the case in that round that Primera was winning that round. So you can make the case that that's a 10-8 round for Primera on your scorecard.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, that might have been the first round Primera won. And now Stevens seemed to think he was getting a minute's rest, and that was not a minute.
That was an unintentional foul. You pulled his head down and hit him low, but I had to take a point away. You have to. Let's make a good fight now, okay?
That kind of tightens up my scorecard a little bit, because I actually gave Primera the 3rd round. And now I gave him the 5th or the 6th round, and it becomes a 2-point round.
See, Randy Newman explained exactly what I explained. He told the two fighters, he said, it was unintentional because you pulled his head down. I'm only taking 1 point off. See, it wasn't professional on Primera's part, what he did.
Well, there's no doubt he was being pushed down on the head, so I'll buy that. But I still agree with Bob. I think Curtis Stevens threw that right hand.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing exactly where it was going.
Now we are into round 7.
That's it, don't punch.
With all that melee and records that just passed, both fighters had their minute rest. Neither fighter got water or instructions, but they had a minute rest. Since the foul occurred, they said 5 seconds into the last round, into the 6th round. I mean, 5 seconds
before the end of the
6th.
Actually, this fight is actually now a lot closer on my scorecard, based on the fact that I gave Primera the 3rd round and I gave him the 6th round, and now it becomes a 2-point round because of the point deducted, and voila, suddenly it might be a little bit closer than.
Yeah, you have Stevens only up about a point or so.
57-56.
Well, I scored that last round even because I had Curtis winning the round, but I did give Primera the 3rd round. He's flirting with disaster with that right hand when he jabbed. But Curtis haven't made him pay for it as of yet.
And now you know you've had a point deducted. And let's just say you're doing a little math in your head as a boxer. Say, wow, if they give the other guy 1 round and they gave him that round, this fight's a lot closer. Is it time to stop forgetting about the work? Let's get the work in, and now it's time to go take care of business?
No doubt. This is an 8-round fight. You can't mess when you've had a point taken away from you, as Stevens has it. No doubt he should be working a little more to ensure that he takes these last 2 rounds. He's been a little lazy in there.
Yeah, I think now he's looking for the knockout. Whereas the first 6 rounds, he's trying to let the knockout come to him. This round, I think he's forcing a knockout.
End of 7. You're watching Broadway Boxing. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Broadway Boxing. Bob Popple along with Brian Adams and Steve Farhood ringside. Eighth round, final round underway. The corner of Stevens. They want more of a punch output from him.
Stevens' best chance for a knockout this whole fight was when he was against the ropes. That's the only time Primera opened up and gave Stevens a chance to counterpunch. So perhaps Stevens should be goading Primera into attacking a little more. It's not easy because Primera has pretty much refused to do that.
Nice right hand by Stevens.
But see, I disagree somewhat, Steve. I agree a little, but I disagree somewhat because when Curtis uses his jab in the middle of the ring, it has worked for him. Of course, against the ropes, his best opportunity. But when he uses jab, right now he's just not using the jab. But when he uses jab in the middle of the ring, Curtis got hurt. Uppercut.
That's a knockdown.
He's still hurt.
Yeah, he is hurt. Stevens is hurt.
He got caught coming in with an uppercut.
That is a knockdown. And wow, Marcos Primera, who did not train, did not spar, just came in on short notice, trying to deliver Stevens to his first loss as a pro.
And he still has Curtis in trouble.
He has not won in over a year. He's lost 5 in a row.
Randy Newman looked like he's stepping in.
Now beer comes flying in.
They stopped it. They stopped it. They stopped it.
Randy Newman has stopped it. I'll be curious to see what the judges' scorecards were going into the final round, but Marcos Primera has made it all a moot point, stopping Curtis Stevens in round 8.
124.
He dropped Stevens early in the round, and now things could get ugly because Stevens' backers have come into the ring.
Behind us.
Yeah, and some of the people in the ring have no business being in the ring.
Boxing fans, the time, 1 minute and 24 seconds of round number 8. The referee stops the contest. Your winner by technical knockout and the new WBC Youth Interim Super Middleweight Champion, Marcos Primera.
Primera did not spar, he did not train. He had lost 5 in a row. In fact, his last victory was May the 7th, or actually June of 2005, when he beat Julio Garcia in Rochester, Washington.